Loading and insertion of copper wire. This video shows the loading and insertion technique of the copper wire intrauterine device from Pregna International Limited. The components are now displayed. Open the pouch till halfway to the flange. Free the suture thread from flange. Hold the tube firmly with one hand and pull the suture threads and draw the device into the insertion tube. Steady the flange with one hand and move the insertion tube to adjust as per uterine depth. Make sure the lower rim of flange is at the measured uterine depth and note the upper rim as in case of copper T380A. Hold the threads slightly stretched with one hand and put the solid rod into the insertion tube to almost touch the bottom of the pulled-in frame. Now copper wire is ready for insertion. Peel the remaining cover of pouch and lift the loaded insertion tube, keeping it horizontal so the frame does not fall out. Gently introduce the T-loaded insertion tube through the cervix canal and advance upward until flange comes into contact with cervix. Hold the solid rod firm and stationary by one hand and withdraw the insertion tube by your free hand to touch ribbed part of solid rod. The arms of frame are now released from insertion tube. Re-advance the insertion tube until the flange is touching the cervix again. This ensures fundal placement of copper wire. Release the frame entirely from the insertion tube by holding the solid rod firmly and drawing the insertion tube back to touch the backstop of solid rod. Now gently withdraw the solid rod. Then withdraw insertion tube from the cervical canal. Next, cut the threads so that they protrude only 3 to 4 cm out of uterus and into the vagina.